Hey, we have Miss Kristen, we're getting Melissa, yeah, we're getting lots of folks.
Hi, Daddy.
So we'll just, hey Judah! So we're just gonna chat a little bit as some people just roll on to the call. So my name is Dr. Darby Campbell. If this is your first Zoom, very honored to be your first. That is really cool. I'm gonna figure out my screen settings a little bit here. Pin video, there we go, cool. Hey, Mr. White. Cool, we're getting lots of people. Yeah, we have people coming from around the state and around the country, and so that is so cool. We have other doctors joining us. It's gonna be a lot of fun, so share this with your friends and family. It's gonna be great content. My goal today is not to give you PhDs in immunity. My goal today is to kind of give you broad strokes and just kind of understandings on how we can better frame our overall health and our immune function. Hey, AJ. Just to give you a little bit lay of the land. So on a desktop, you'll have a tab that says participants, and so you can expand that, and then you can, there's a button to raise your hand as well if you have any questions, and then I'll see that. I'll also unmute you if you can want to vocalize your question. You can also just type your questions in, and I can see that as well. And so we'll go over those towards the end of the presentation as well. So I just timed it. I did about 22 minutes with a little bit of fluff time. And so I'll let a couple more people join, and then we will get rolling. Couple admin stuff. Again, my name is Dr. Darby Campbell. I practice with my wife, Dr. Ashley Campbell at Campbell Chiropractic. We are in the state of Colorado, and we are on fire, and we love doing what we do. We want to serve as many people as we can. And so, can everyone hear me okay? Can you wave? Can you hear me? Yeah? Cool. All right, I just want to check, make sure everyone can hear me. And if you do have questions, just wave, and then I'll try to get to you guys at the end. But an announcement just came out in the state of Colorado. We are going to be under kind of a stay-at-home kind of order from the governor at this point. And so what does that mean for our office and our chiropractic clinic and our ability to serve you? We also got an email from DORA, which is our regulatory agency, and they asked us to stay open and continue to serve you guys because we are deemed a medical necessity for you to kind of maximize your health. And so we're going to talk a little bit about chiropractic today and why that's important. But your care is really vital, and so I just encourage you to keep all your appointments. We do have people going on to self-quarantine mode, which we're respecting that, and how we're doing that is we have opened up special hours where we're not typically seeing patients, and we spread our patients really far apart, and we don't have staff in, and so it'll just be you or my wife and you in the office is getting adjusted. And so you'll probably be much safer coming to our office because we are hyper sanitary now. We're cleaning the patients between every encounter. But if you're going to the grocery store, you're probably exposing yourself to more stuff. And so make sure you just, when you go to the grocery store, just come on and see us right afterwards. We'll boost your immunity, and then it'll be a good little fun outing for you. And so that's lots of fun. It looks like we're getting lots of people on the call, which is really cool. I'm going to start diving into the content a little bit. Hey, Linda and Rob. Yeah, we got some people from Canada. I got my mom on the line. That is so cool. And yeah, and lots of patients. So let's kind of dive in. I'm going to share my screen. And so you'll see the bulk of kind of what I'm doing just with a PowerPoint. I did make it kind of, if you're on a phone, it should be big enough for you to read. There'll be some stuff that's kind of tough, so just kind of listen to what I'm saying and we'll kind of get along. Cool. And so let's share right here. Cool. And share. And then we are going to do, cool. There you are. All right, can everyone see my PowerPoint? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, cool. All right, so how to supercharge your immune system. All right, like I said, my name is Dr. Darby, and let's dive right in. I always like to start with something funny. Let me minimize this, because that might be blocking you. My tolerance for idiots right now is extremely low. I used to have immunity built up, but obviously there's a new strain out there. Yeah, depending on your social media screening skills, you might be seeing a lot of craziness out there. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what we're letting into our lives. And so, but yeah, there's a lot of craziness out there. So we want to make sure we're doing all the right things to stay on the up and up on our end. Cool. Why I kind of do what I do. I love my family. Top left corner here, I have the amazing pleasure of practicing the best chiropractor I know, Dr. Ashley. And then we have our son, Judah. We call him Little Doc. He's this blessing. And then we are expecting our second child in mid-July. And so this group right here is I want to make it the best world possible for them. And that includes me adjusting every patient I can, because if we can make this world a healthier place, it's going to have healthier, happier, more functioning people. And so that is cool. I also love my job. I just get to work with my hands. I get to help people feel better, perform their best. This is a picture of a board. We have these special events throughout the year where people just write on there during this event why they love getting adjusted. And so we had, I think, over 240 people that day through our doors, and we got to sign all this. And so it's just a lot of fun. Cool. All right, so key questions. So immunity is really driven by and just our overall health, the quality of questions we ask ourselves. And so let's ask ourselves some good questions. What is the immune system? Why is it important? And how does it work? And then, am I a worthy vessel or a hospitable host? We're going to develop this concept a lot. And then, what are the 3 T's? So let's dive right in here. We can only do so much defense. We can only wash our hands so many times. We can only isolate to an extent. We are going to probably get exposed at some point. And there can be too much of a good thing. In fact, I just read an article with this statewide kind of house arrest sort of thing, in a sense, that they rolled it back a little bit. They originally did have it further, but then after speaking with health officials, they retracted the isolation requirements because we are community beings. We need interaction. And so there are some people that live without other people in the house. And so they need to have the freedom to interact with groups of people. And so they actually kept some parks open as a result so people can get outside, because we can have too much isolation. This can cause some fear and anxiety, and that is actually going to do the exact opposite to the immunity that we want, because most likely we will be exposed. I don't say this to be fearful or to cause alarm, but the way this is spreading, we will be exposed at some point. And so what's going to be the first line of defense there is our immunity, our offense, and what it can do to protect us. The good news is the vast majority of people won't even experience symptoms. After that, there'll be a subset of people that get sniffles and a cold. And after that, there'll be a very small minority that have some more adverse events. But even then, we've been managing them pretty well in the hospitals to this point. But again, the faster we can get through this kind of curve, the more we can develop this, what I call community immunity. Because the more healthy, high-functioning adults that can get to a high level of immunity, the faster this curve is going to start to go down. Once we get to a point when over half the adults have developed immunity to this, they're no longer infecting people. The way this works is if a virus gets in your body, if you're a healthy adult, you'll be contagious for 1 to 3 days. And then after that, you'll no longer be contagious and you've developed lifelong immunity. The more individuals that get to that point, the less contagious people will have in the population. And then we're going to see that curve start to flatten. We're seeing this curve flatten already in other countries, which is really cool. We've done a lot of amazing things here to help do that even more. But we have a personal responsibility as individuals to maximize our health so that we can help this as well too. It's not just about isolation and washing your hands, even though those are good things as well. Cool. So what is the immune system? Well, it's a highly coordinated effort of multiple systems coming together. This is a very simplified diagram, by the way. It is really a whole body function. And so it is coordinated and it is everything kind of working together to protect the body. And so what is it doing? It's protecting us from microbes, toxins, and damaged cells. So microbes are going to be the virus. Toxins are going to be other poisons or allergens or other things in our system. and damaged cells are going to be just broken down tissues and cancer cells. So it's also on constant surveillance for these things. And so if we are able to have good surveillance, we'll detect these quickly and then we'll respond appropriately. But it can attack itself. So this can go wrong and we can get autoimmune conditions. And so when the controller of this system can get into bad states, we can start to get into autoimmunity. And so this is where we just want to be careful. We want to make sure we're doing everything we can to facilitate proper control. So we have an innate branch of the immunity, and this is what the immunity that we are born with. It requires no exposures, and it begins working from day one. And so the innate is a key word here. We're going to come back to it. Innate just means that, again, we are born with it. It's totally natural. We have it from day one. This is the first line. Well, outside of skin and kind of some physical barriers, this is the first line of defense. And so this is immediate and it acts right away. And so this is the real thing, and chiropractic has been shown to help this. This is really cool. This is a surveillance, and then it pairs with the acquired immunity, which we'll talk about next, to hand it off where we get the lifelong immunity. So acquired is what we develop over our lifetimes. And so this is where the antibodies come in, and this is where we're required to have an exposure to something to develop this. And so if we're out going to the grocery store and we touch an avocado, that somebody who had some sort of interaction with a COVID person before, and then you touch your eye, this is how you're going to build the immunity to it. So you're going to have an innate immune response, and then this is going to take over from hours to peak around 2 weeks, and then we will develop the lifelong immunity that we all desire. Like I said, this gets really complex. This is super simplified drawing. These are all the different cells that are involved in immunity. My job is not going to coach you on each one of these things because you couldn't even do it if you wanted to. Remember that innate we were talking about? Well, there's something that controls all of this for us. And it is something that controls our heartbeat, it controls our stomach acid secretion, it controls our hormones, and it is the general. So the immune response, like I said, is coordinated. And so there's something coordinated telling you what to do, and that is our innate intelligence. And so when we are born, we have a spark of life, and that life is intelligent, and it is organized in our body, and it is with you to this day. My job as a chiropractor is to make sure that innate intelligence that's been with you since day one is functioning at 100% and can communicate to your body at 100%. Because how does it work? It sits in your brain, and then it communicates down your spine and spinal cord, and then it goes out to all the nerves to control every tissue in your body. And so we want to make sure this is fully functioning 100%. So I can help you with this, but then we can do some stuff on our own as well too. And so that's what we're going to go into as well. But before we get there, I want to introduce a concept to you called the worthy vessel or hospitable host. So a worthy vessel is something you want to be. It's where you'll have a strong immune function and a high level of health. Or you can be on the flip side, you can be a very good host for disease. So the germ theory is kind of the biggest driver in immunity, and it's been that way for a long time. It states that microbes, bacteria, viruses cause disease. So if you get exposed to COVID-19, the germ theory would state that you will get the effects of the virus, and that could be fatal. But there's other players in the game. This was discovered by Louis Pasteur back in the 1800s. And so at the time, this disproved spontaneous generation. But like I was saying, there is some problems with this theory because it doesn't factor in the host. And so one of the things that a concept to kind of communicate this is, do flies create garbage, or does garbage attract flies? And so the thought at the time was rotting meat spontaneously generated maggots and then would generate flies. And today we don't have rotting meat sitting around too much, hopefully, but we do see flies on garbage. And the flies are attracted to it because it's diseased and dying food and tissues, and it provides nutrients to them. So if we focus on the germ theory alone, which would be to eliminate all the flies, we're going to be playing an endless game of fly swatter, because if we keep swatting the flies and not getting rid of the garbage, it's never going to get better. And so this is the main drawback of the germ theory. And it's why people use this approach for their total health when we have to take a look at host health, host immunity. How healthy and how strong are we? And so that's what we're going to talk about. But let's talk a little bit more about the problems first. Oh, I think I might have a question. We'll come back to that later. I'll get into this. I'm just kind of new to Zoom as well too, so forgive me a little bit. So if we only focus on getting rid of the flies, the problem's going to keep coming back because we have to get rid of the garbage. So germs, more accurately, germs or microbes or viruses and disease, they're more like scavengers looking for dead tissue to thrive in. And so our job is to have very strong, very vibrant tissue so that we can be a better kind of worthy vessel for health. And actually the guy who discovered it, Louis Pasteur, said at his last words, "I was wrong, the microbe is nothing, the terrain is everything." This is a huge deal. This is the kind of the father of this, and this is what a lot of modern medicine is based on, and it's what a lot of people understand their health to be. And so, but the cool thing is the terrain we have control over. We don't have control over all the microbes, but we do have control over our own health. And so how do we become a worthy vessel? Step one, full nerve power. I may be a bit biased as a chiropractor, but this is vital for your health. Your nerves and your innate intelligence controls everything in your body. And so I could list 22 plus studies that demonstrate this, but let's just show you something real that happened last week. I was showing this to a pile of patients. They all thought it was really cool. So this might be really small for some of you if you're on a phone, but this is a complete blood cell count of a patient who got adjusted, and they also were in a multidisciplinary clinic, so they're able to do a blood draw and a blood labs right away as well too. And so they did a pre-adjustment test over here, and they did a post-adjustment test. So the biggest factor in your immunity in your blood is mainly your white blood cell count. And so they had a pre-adjustment value of 8.8, and then post-adjustment, 35 minutes later, just 35 minutes later, they had a value of 10. What this represents is an improvement of 136%. That is huge. There is not a lot of things that can do that with your body in that time frame. All that happened there is the adjustment just restored normal health and function to the body. And so this is where it's really cool, and really why we're all getting adjusted. It's why we're still open right now, because every time we adjust you and we adjust our patients, we're giving them better health, which is so, so cool. And because this is not only going to help you, it's going to help our whole community get through this better, faster. And not only is it shown with this, we just have so many testimonies. Rebecca, she was just in today getting her tune-up. She frequently says, "I haven't been sick since coming here." She knocks on wood every time. It's kind of fun, but this has been years at this point. Also, the Phillips family, anytime they get a cold or flu, they make an extra visit just to get that tune-up, because they've realized and kind of seen that their family just gets better faster when they get adjusted. And then lastly, Bet, they have kids in multiple schools, and they used to get sick, and when one kid would get sick, it would just spread everywhere. And now one kid will just get sick, and that's it, and then that kid will get better really quickly, and then the family just stays healthy, and many, many more. And like I was saying, if you want the research, I can give you that on the website, and so just go to our website and we'll take care of you there. Cool. So that's step one. Step two, sufficient rest. When we lose sleep, is there a thing blocking the screen or no? No? Okay, cool. Because then I can see the questions and that sort of stuff. So sufficient rest. When we get less than 7 hours sleep, it starts to affect our immunity pretty negatively. And so we want to make sure we're getting all the sleep we can. And the ways we can do that is we can decrease screen time and light in general 2 hours before bed. And so our brain, when it sees light, particularly blue light, it thinks daylight. And so if you do that right before you get to bed, your brain won't slow down and you won't get to sleep very easily. So lastly, get out in the sun during the day. We need that bright light exposure to really set our circadian rhythms. And so getting out in the sun during the day and minimizing that sunlight at night will properly set our clock so that we can sleep more efficiently. There's a whole lot more, and I did a 30-minute video just on this just go to my website and check out the sleep guide. You scroll all the way to the bottom in my guide, it'll be right there. Cool. Worthy vessel steps 3 through 5. And so I'm going to go over these in general, but then my wife and I, Dr. Ashley, we are going to be doing presentations on each one of these over the next couple weeks, just so that we can continue to improve our health. And so we're going to keep it kind of light here. I do want to give you some takeaways to start doing today, though, so we are going to talk about them. So the 3 T's are the 3 types of stress. And we can either have a stress of toxicity, where we're getting too much bad, or an insufficient, where we're not getting enough good. The 3 T's stand for thoughts, first off. So if we have too much negative thinking, that causes stress for the body. When the nervous system's under stress, it's been shown over and over again to decrease immune function. And so we have to balance out all this negative stuff right now, all this nasty things on the news and on social media, with positive thoughts. This is mainly like, what's my plan? What am I grateful for? We're going to get more into this in a second, but we got to have that good balance. Physical traumas. This is going to be the physical aspect. Again, this is what chiropractors directly help you with. We help reduce this in the body. But then this is everything from poor posture to ergonomics issues to car accidents. And so we want to do everything we can to reduce that physical stuff. But then also we want to make sure that, we want to make sure that we're getting enough movement. Movement is a source of nutrition for our brain and body. If we are not getting enough nutrition or enough movement nutrition in our body does not function very well. And so this is more than just, oh, I need to exercise for the sake of exercise. No, you need to exercise for the sake of your health. And so I'm going to go over some cool things to do that with that too. Chemical toxins, again, we can have too much bad stuff. Think alcohol, think excessive drugs, think cleaning things that are harsh on your body. Right now I have chemical toxins of disinfectant on my hand because we are disinfecting our tables like 40 to 70 times a day between every visit. So it's a lot of fun, but hard on my hand, but what do I gotta do for you? So it's cool. But then we can also have not enough good. And so this is pretty obvious. We have too much bad or not enough good. Both of these cause stress to the body and decrease our overall function and performance and make us more likely to be susceptible to disease. And so, like I said, we are going to go over each one of these in more detail. And the next one we're going to be doing is called Sharpen Your Mind. This is where we'll be focusing on kind of the mental side of things. Like, what are we thinking about? So this is the mental clarity versus mental stress. What happens to your body under stress? This is a time right now where we have more time than we ever have before. Hopefully this never happens again, but you'll probably never have a time like this to really focus on your goals and your plans for the future than right now. So, and then also, why is gratitude important and what it does to our health? So that'll be next week, same time, same place, really cool, in your phone or on your screen, so that'll be really exciting. So recap, worthy vessel. Step 1, get adjusted. If you are not in this state or in my county, I'll find you somebody, just message me, but we gotta be getting adjusted to have full nerve power. Lastly, or next, decrease screens and increase sunshine, okay? And then check out the sleep blog, because on our website, we gotta be making sure we get good rest. Gratitude and benefits of COVID. So I'm gonna go a little bit more into this, and we're gonna go way into it next week, but right now, we're seeing a lot of negative aspects of COVID-19 on the news and on social media. But with every positive or with every negative, there is a positive. You can't have a monopoled magnet. And when we are polarized by a topic or idea or circumstance, it creates strong emotions and tends to swing our health one way or the other way, pretty much negatively on both sides. If we get too happy and hysteric, we tend to get ourselves into problems too. But so I challenge you, what are the benefits that's going on right now? You have more time to spend with family. You have more time to enjoy your food. You have more time to focus on your health. There's all kinds of benefits. Make sure you're seeing both sides of the coin, because if you only see the negative aspect, you are going to create a lot of stress and a lot of dysfunction in your body. All right, so time. This is a time to move your body. it was so cool. Ash and I driving home from lunch, we saw this couple working out in the middle of the park together. They brought like a couple pieces of equipment and they're doing it really fun. And so we love family workouts. That is so cool. You can't go to the gym. You kind of got to go old school. So get outside in the sun and have some fun and teach your kids and your friends and family how to move. Also, we care for a ton of trainers and we're friends with trainers, and a ton of them are posting amazing content for free online on YouTube and different platforms. So just Google workouts you want to do. You can do yoga classes online. You can put your yoga mat anywhere you want to do. You can do all kinds of fun things from a variety of skill levels, and you have more time than ever. Time is no longer an excuse for people in their health. They have all the time they need to get better. So now we just need to use it more wisely. Same thing with food. We have time to plan meals. We have time to have family dinners and really slow down and enjoy that food. And then I'm going to recommend you have living foods in your body. You have a ton of plant-based foods. You can have all the vitamins and minerals you want, but it is no replacement for living foods. I've been juicing like crazy lately. I love juicing. It's so cool. Just make sure you get living food in your body. There's lots of ways to do it through salad and eating and smoothies and juicing. Just make sure you're getting that good stuff in. And so I did keep this pretty short on purpose. I just wanted to see what we could go through. So I'm going to stop sharing here. So stop share. Good. So you can see me again. I'm going to see if there's any questions. Does anybody have any questions? They can wave their hand or raise their hand. We have a little bit of time left. Looks like we have about 4 or maybe up to 8 minutes before Zoom kind of cuts us off. So I'd love to answer any questions about COVID, about the material that we went over, about immunity, about health. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm see where I can see where all the questions are. Cool. Has anybody asked any questions? I'm trying to see everybody. There we go. Anybody wave hands for me? What did everybody think about that? Was that good? Did you guys enjoy that? Was that helpful? Cool. Yeah, everybody's waving now so they can all see me. I know that. Cool. Well, to give you something kind of fun to look at, one of my friends, he posts a lot of really interesting things on Facebook. He is a bit more polarizing than I like, but at the same time, he does challenge you pretty well. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. And just to kind of go over, just share my whole screen. Share. Cool. And so he posted this thing called the history of pandemics. And so as humans, we have been through a lot of this stuff before. And so right now we are in COVID-19. But I just saw a patient today that was born in the early 1950s. And so he has lived through all of this stuff. And he's actually an Asian guy and he comes from Taiwan. And so he has lived through all of these different things. And so it does seem like the sky is falling, but I assure you it's not. Human beings have lived through far worse before. All loss of human life is tragic. I'm not trying to downplay what's going on, but at the same time, we have survived very significant things before. And so I just want to encourage you that the sky is not falling. We can get through this, and we are doing amazing things in our society and with our health to get through this. Everything from getting adjusted to washing our hands to increase our awareness of health. And so that is really cool. I just want to kind of show this because it puts it on a scale of, you wouldn't think this would be the case. Like this little dot right here is COVID-19. This is all the pandemics humans have been through. And so COVID-19, even though it is still a big deal, it's a loss of human life, it is nothing in comparison to what humans have gone through in the past. And so if you want this, just ask me. I can email you this link. It's pretty cool. But the percentages of this, its fatality rate is still very low. And so that is a good thing. And we're doing lots of good things in this country to ensure our health. I think we're going to be running out of time here momentarily. And so I'll just check if there's any more questions. Let me see. So stop share. Good. I think we're still good on the questions front. And so if you would like to come on into our office, if you're local, we're doing free consultations right now. Highly encourage you to take us up on that. We have a lot of friends and family just coming into the office because they have more time. They're on vacation essentially in their home, and so they're bringing their kids in, they're bringing their spouses in. So we love that. I think we're running out of time, and so I will say good night to y'all. I'm gonna go say hi to Judy Man, and I'll see you guys all next week. Thanks for the thumbs up, Melissa. I'll see you guys all next week at 7:30. Bye for now.